This is the heart and soul of the American justice system. What we do for individuals without representation or who have not had adequate representation is very important to the integrity and the credibility of our justice system.
There are men and women all over many states in this country who have no ability to get any kind of competent representation.
The defense lawyer and the prosecutor have opposite roles. Both of them are supposed to represent their client as vigorously as possible. And I think, unfortunately, in the real world, people on death row don't get that vigorous representation.
At any one time, we have 50 or 60 cases, and that's 50 or 60 human beings without lawyers who are death sentenced, and we just can't find enough lawyers to represent them.
Being on death row is one thing, but being on death row without a lawyer is like being hopeless. You don't know the system yourself, and you need someone to fight for you, and it makes a world of difference to know that you have someone that's competent.
Race and the death penalty have been linked through the history of our country. We had black codes, we had slave codes, we had Jim Crow. None of these things ought to happen in a fair system, but they have happened historically in this country, and they continue to influence the administration of the death penalty.
All the trials and troubles gather around me, and it seems that I'm barely hanging on. But when I feel His love encamped around me, then someday I know I'm going home. If I could just hold on a little longer, I'll be rejoicing in heaven someday.
This profession sees as its obligation to ensure that everybody in this country is assured adequate access to our courts, but more importantly, very good and solid representation on their cases.
The project was created 25 years ago to fill what was then an emerging crisis of counsel for death row prisoners. Today, we need a much stronger word than crisis, because there are hundreds of people on death row who don't have lawyers at all.
In one respect, it's too bad that we still have to have the death penalty representation project. On the other hand, boy, it sure is a great thing that we do have it.
Today, I'm a volunteer death penalty lawyer because it's energizing work, it's fascinating, I think it's important, and also you really are representing somebody in dire circumstances.
It is just marvelous that for 25 years the ABA has been in the forefront of leading the call for clear and high-quality representation for those on death row.
Let me share a little story with you about me and my mom. See, my mom and I were together for the whole 18 years. And what had happened the last couple of years, I was able to call my mom. And I would call my mom to ask her what did she cook that day. And the reason why is because the food was so bad that I was eating that I just wanted my mom to tell me what she was cooking so I could visualize it in my head, right? The day when I got out, the first thing I did was I called my mother. And I called my mom and I asked my mom, what you cooking? Because my mom didn't know, nobody knew. So I asked my mom, what you cooking? And she said, why? And I said, because I'm coming home. You know, your son is now coming home. Good people have done great work to get me back home.